Hello YouTubers! I will be going through this week's games, review last week's tips and leaderboard of our footy tip comp, and also go through my Brownlow Votes for season 2025. My top 4 for the 2025 Brownlow medal after round 11 are: in top spot is B. Smith Geelong on 22 votes. In second spot is N. Dacos Collingwood on 17 votes. In third spot is C. Sarong Fremantle on 16 votes. And two players in fourth spot on 15 votes that are J. Dawson Adelaide and Z. Merritt Essendon. These are my top 4 of the 2025 Brownlow medal after round 11. Let's look at my tips after round 11 games. There were 9 games in total, and I got Hawthorn incorrect against the Giants, Hawks incorrect against the Lions, who the Brisbane Lions had a good win at the MCG. And the third game, I tipped the Swans to beat the D's, and that was wrong. Therefore, I got 6 out of 9 correct. Let's look at the leaderboard of the Talking Everything AFL footy tips. The top 4 are: in first spot is Patrick L32 on 64 votes. Then in second spot, I am Hacks with 63. And in equal third spot is me, Talking Everything AFL on 62, and Potter 1 also on 62. And in fifth spot on 60 votes is Red Dead Redemption. That's my top 5 for the Talking Everything AFL footy tips after round 11. Alright, let's see who I tipped for round 12. Before we continue, I would like to ask for a very small favour. If you enjoy this AFL content, please take a sec to subscribe to the channel and like the video. That would be awesome. Okay, let's return back to the show. The first game of the week is between the Brisbane Lions and Essendon Bombers, played on a Thursday night at the Gabba. The Lions had a magnificent 33-point win against Hawthorn Hawks at the MCG last week, whereas the Bombers beat Richmond Tigers by 23 points on the Friday night Dreamtime game. The players injured for the Lions are Day, McCarthy, Ryan, Smith and Sasovich. The Bombers, they'll be missing plenty of players that include Brian, Draper, Edwards, Hayes, Jones, Lewing, Ridley, Reid and Langford. The players in the mix for the Lions are the Big O, McInerney, Gallup and Marshall. For the Bombers, their players in the mix are Dave Wicks, El Howie and Johnson. Where the game will be won at, it's the ruck midfield setup of the two respective sides. For the Lions, you got Fulton ruck with the midfields of Dunkley, Neal, Bailey, Ashcroft and Berry. For the Bombers, you got Goldstein and ruck, then the midfields of Caldwell, Durham, Gresham, Merritt and Clark. Just looking at the difference of the two teams' ruck midfield setup, the Lions have so much quality, class, all experienced premiership players. I expect the Lions midfields to win a lot of stoppage and clearances and provide a lot of inside 50s to their forwards of Hitwood and Cameron to kick plenty of goals. And I want to tip the Lions to win by 26 points against the Essendon Bombers on a Thursday night. Second game of the week, played on a Friday night, is between Collingwood Magpies and Hawthorn Hawks. The Maggies had a good 35-point win against the North Melbourne Kangaroos, and the Hawks were very disappointing and they lost to Brisbane Lions at home by 33 points. The players injured for the Maggies are DeGoey, Harrison, Johnson, McRae, McGuinness, McStay, and now Maynard you can add to this list. For the Hawks, you'll be missing Bruce, Day, Hill, Lewis, and Moraz. The players in the mix for the Maggies are Schultz, Moore, Sidebottom, Penbury. Some good ends. For the Hawks, their players in the mix are Impey, Deere, and McDonald. Where the game will be won at, it's the ruck midfield setup of the two respective sides. For the Hawks, in ruck midfield, you got Meek in ruck with the midfields of Newcombe, Warpel, Morris, Ward, and CJ. For the Maggies, you got Darcy Cameron ruck with the midfields of N. Dacos, Long, Sidebottom, Biggin, Lipinski, and Cripps. Just looking at the two teams' ruck midfield, I like the Collingwood's ruck midfield setup. They've got some class players in the midfield with speed, or more outside I should say. Dacos, Sidebottom's elite kicking, Jack Cripps to add a bit of leg pace. And therefore, I expect the Maggies to have a lot more inside 50s where the players like your Schultz can do his magic and kick goals and Jamie Elliott, and therefore I'll expect the Maggies to beat Hawthorn Hawks by 11 points. The third game of the week is between Gold Coast Suns and Fremantle Dockers. The players injured for the Suns are Ballard, Berry, Graham, Himmelberg is out for the season now, Johnson, Noble, Rogers and Weller. For the Fremantle Dockers, their players that are injured are the Great Five, Jones, O'Meara, Narkle, Sturp, Walker, Walters, Alan Young, and now Simpson with an AC joint injury. The players in the mix for the Suns are Jepson, Lemons and Moyle. For the Dockers, their players in the mix are Aish, Draper, Reddy and Darcy. Where the game will be won at, look at the ruck midfield on two respective sides. For the Gold Coast Suns, you got Vitz, in ruck then Miller, Anderson, Fiorini, Rao, class player, and closely. For the Fremantle Dockers, you got Jackson Ruck with the midfielders of Sarong and Brayshaw, they're two gun players, plus the great recruit of Bolton from Richmond, then Johnson and Sharp. Just looking at this two, it's pretty even, the two ruck midfield setup. I'm not sure what Fremantle team will be playing this weekend. Are we going to get the good Fremantle and the not so good Fremantle? Fremantle are so inconsistent, whereas the Suns, top four, they've been on fire this year, playing so good. They don't lose at home, good team. And I want to tip the Suns to beat Freo by 18 points. The fourth game of the week is between GWS Giants and Richmond Tigers, played at Energy Stadium on a Saturday afternoon. The players injured for the Giants are Cunningham, Coniglio, Daniels, Kelly, McMullen and Stringer. For the Tigers, their players injured are Armstrong, Bolter, Kalinia, Gipkirst, Houghton, Shaw, Smiley. Now you can add Dow and Lalo, last year's #1 draft pick with a hamstring injury. The players in the mix for the Giants are Ango and Delela. For the Tigers, their players in the mix are big ones, Lynch, Nankervis, also the youngsters of Sonsi, Teresi and Fawcett. Where the game will be won at, it's the rugby foot setup of the two respective sides. For the Giants, you got Briggs in ruck with the midfielders of McMullen, Tom Green, Ward, Ware and Bedford. For the Richmond Tigers, you got Ryan in ruck with the midfielders of Taranto, Hopper, Rousewith, McIntosh and McAuliffe. Just looking at that, I see more class in the GWS Giants midfield, and I expect to win more of the stoppages and clearance, and the ball will be a lot more in the Giants inside 50, where Toby Green, Hogan, Cardman to have a lot of scoring opportunities, and I want to tip the Giants to beat Richmond Tigers by 23 points. The fifth game of the week, played on a Saturday night, is between the City Swans and the Adelaide Crows. The players injured for the Swans are Amadi, or he's suspended I should say, but the rest are injured in Andrew, Cunningham, Edwards, Fox, Gordon, McDonald and Papali. For the Crows, their players that are injured are M. Crouch, the two Murray brothers and Kieran Strawn. The players in the mix for the Swans are Patton, Francis, McInerney and Milligan, both from suspension. For the Crows, their players in the mix are Nankervis, Draper and Murphy. Where the game will be won at, it's the ruck midfield setup of the two respective sides. For the Swans, in ruck you got Grundy, the midfielders of Chad Warner, Rowbottom, Lloyd, Heaney, Niels. Whereas for the Crows, you got O'Brien in ruck with the midfielders of Rankin, Salego, Dawson, Cumming and Curtin. Just look at the two respective sides ruck midfield setup. I like the Swans. They've got a great ruckman in Grundy and the class midfielders of Warner, Heaney. They've just got so much class, and their captain Mills returning back from injury. I expect the Swans to get more stoppages and clearance and win more ground ball gets and get a lot inside 50. And also the Crows, they have been very disappointing on the road. They've only been one team on the road, the Essendon Bombs, and lost all their other remaining away games, i.e. they lost to Fremantle, they lost to Collingwood, they lost to Gold Coast Suns away. And I expect this pattern to continue. I'm going to tip the Swans to beat the Crows by 12 points. The second last game of the week is between Melbourne Demons and St Kilda Saints. The players injured for the D's are Horn, McAdam and Woods Wakefoot. For the Saints, they'll be missing Cordy, Dow, Howard, King, McRae, gun player, Stocker and Taru. The players in the mix for the Demons are Winey, McDonald and Larry. For the Saints, their players in the mix are Collard, Garcia and McLennan. Where the game will be won at, it's the ruck midfield setup of the two respective sides. For the D's, you got Gordon ruck, for the midfields of Oliver, Warney, the Tracker, Langford, Langland, good midfield. For the Saints, you got Marshall and Rock with the midfields of Jones, Steele, Sinclair, Hill, and Wood. Just look at the Demons midfield. They've got so much more quality in there, where I expect Gordon to dominate the hit-outs and also go up for kick goals, and got the class inside middle. Warney, the extractor of Oliver, who goes outside, and also the Tracker. The Demons will have more inside 50s, where players like Cozzy Pickett, Fritz will have so many opportunities to kick enough goals, and therefore I'm going to tip the Demons to beat the Saints by 15 points. The last game of the week is between West Coast Eagles and Geelong, played on a Sunday evening at Optus Stadium in Perth. The players injured for the Eagles are Chesser, Cripps, Jamison, Always, Buccatrelli, Sheed, Yoi, and McGovern still out with concussion. For the Cats, their players injured are Bowers, Burt, Conway, Dangerfield, Edwards, Hoffman, Kordatsky, and Moyer. The players in the mix for the Eagles are Reed, Bo Allen, and Hull. For the Geelong Cats, their players in the mix are Stevens, Wilkshire, and O'Sullivan. What can I say between the two? The two teams are in their own different path. West Coast Eagles are dead last, whereas Geelong Cats, so many experienced players in the top 4, aiming to win another premiership. And this one, I will be very brief. West Coast in rebuilding mode, Geelong trying to win another flag. So much class, good players. I'm going to tip Geelong to beat West Coast Eagles by 38 points at Optus Stadium. My tips for round 12 are all home teams of Brisbane Lions, Collingwood, Gold Coast Suns, GWS Giants, Sydney and Melbourne to win their home games, respectively, and only one away team to win this week, Geelong to beat West Coast Eagles. Thank you for watching my video, and it will be appreciated if you can subscribe and comment to my videos. Hopefully you enjoyed my video, and see you next time. Cheers or bye.